I'm standing in the middle of the marble-floored lobby I built with my own goddamn money, and I've just been fired. Not in a meeting, not in an office. Right here between the espresso bar and the security desk by a man who thinks I don't belong. You can leave now, Ezra Rosen says with a calm that barely hides his disgust. We don't need temps like you. Not your kind. Your kind. His words cut, but I don't flinch. I've heard worse. And I didn't come this far just to be shaken by a smug middle manager with gelled hair and a god complex. No, he doesn't know who I am? Not yet. But a darker question coils in the back of my mind as I turn to walk out. How the hell did he know I wasn't just a temp? Let me back up. My name is Cameron Shirazi, 34, born in San Diego, raised between Persian carpets, Persian pride, and a very American dream. CEO of Nexora Systems, a tech logistics firm I built from scratch in a garage with 3 friends and too much Red Bull. And 3 months ago, I stepped down, publicly. At least that's what everyone thinks. What really happened was this: I watched our company balloon after acquisition. New managers came in, new hires, new politics. The pulse of the company began to rot, but from the inside out. Complaints weren't reaching me anymore. Whispers of racism, harassment, shady firings, I heard it all, but nothing ever landed on paper. Nothing I could prove. So I made a call. I shaved the beard, switched my wardrobe, picked a name from HR's short-term staff database, Cam Shire IT contractor, and slipped into the very beast I'd created. My goal: observe, gather, confirm, clean house. But Ezra wasn't just another corporate snake. He was smarter, slimier, more connected than I thought. He ran the West Coast division like his personal kingdom, and anyone who didn't fit the mold, white Ivy League and worshipful, was slowly suffocated, including me. Which brings us back to now. Me being fired in public. Him staring me down like I'm a piece of dirt on his shoe. But one thing doesn't add up. I've been careful. I played dumb in meetings, kept my head down, took notes, never looked too smart, never said too much. I've followed his commands. I even let him call me Camel once like some exotic pet. So why now? Why this "you're lucky I don't call ice," he adds with a smirk. There it is, the real venom. My spine locks, but I say nothing. Just nod. Walk. Not because I'm afraid, but because I need him to think he won. I need him relaxed. Because tomorrow, he'll start to lose everything. Or so I thought. That night I don't go home. I go to Layla's. She opens the door in a robe fresh out of the shower. Long legs, bare, her hair tied up like she's been waiting for me. Cam, she asks, confused. Why are you? I got fired. She frowns. You weren't supposed to get noticed. You were. I know. But Ezra's not stupid. He smelled something. Layla was my only contact inside. An assistant on Ezra's floor, beautiful and underestimated, fluent in 3 languages, and secretly feeding me information for weeks. We met once by accident when I saw her shove a report back into her drawer the second Ezra walked past. He'd been trying to sleep with her for months. She let him think she'd give in just to survive, but she never did. And I made the mistake of falling for her. I sit down on her couch, my face in my hands. It's over, I'm out. He wins. She kneels in front of me, lifting my chin. Her robe opens slightly, a glimpse of skin, perfume, heat between us. You don't get to give up, she says. Not after what he did to Fareed, or the cleaning crew, or me. But he's on to me, I whisper. Somehow he knows. And that's when she says it. I think someone tipped him off. My blood runs cold. Who? She looks down, hesitates. I grab her hand. Layla, who? But she doesn't answer. Instead, she leans in, lips brushing mine, her voice hot and quiet. He has something on me. What could it be? A secret, a photo, a recording. What does Ezra have that makes Layla hesitate even now? And more importantly, if he has dirt on her, does he have something on me too? Layla's kiss is soft, but my mind is on fire. She pulls back, brushing a strand of damp hair behind her ear, and whispers, "You weren't the only one undercover." My breath catches. What are you talking about? She stands, tightening the robe across her waist, her body shifting like she's unsure whether to hide or to seduce. I applied for that job to get close to Ezra. Not because I needed a paycheck, I needed insurance. I watch her carefully. Her skin glows in the warm light, the swell of her hips visible through the silk. But her voice is steel. She's been through something. What kind of insurance, I ask? Layla looks toward the window toward the skyline. Ezra isn't just a racist egomaniac. He's part of a private network, whisper deals, offshore accounts, protected by layers of invisible loyalty. You fire him, he just moves to another boardroom. You shame him, he buries you in lawsuits. I needed leverage. And what did you find, I ask? I found the room. The room every tech exec hears whispers about rooms, literal or digital, a place where the powerful keep their sins sealed. Affairs, audio clips, blackmail. Ezra has one. I got inside when she says, saw files, videos, voice recordings, names. But then he locked it down. After I told someone, he knew. Who did you tell her eyes meet mine? You. And there it is, our first crack. The moment she realized I wasn't just a contractor, and the moment I realized she'd never fully trusted me. How do you know someone else didn't leak it? I asked, standing. Because after that day, everything changed, she says, stepping closer. Her fingers trail down my chest. He started watching me, testing me. He knows someone's coming for him, and now he thinks it's you. But it's not just me anymore, I say. It's us. She leans in again, heat rising between us. Her breath touches my ear. He invited me to dinner tomorrow night, said it was private. I think he wants to make a deal. Or catch me red-handed. That word catch tightens my gut. Could he be setting a trap? Or worse, does he already have one ready? Layla pulls away, walks to her bedroom. If I go, she says, turning in the doorway, robe slightly slipping off one shoulder. You have to be nearby. Watching, recording. You're willing to risk everything. She lets the robe drop just enough for one curve of her bare back to show. For justice, for revenge. She smiles. I'm willing to risk a little skin. The next night, I'm across the street inside a parked van. The same kind we use for server transport. No logos. Blacked out windows. Inside is a simple audio tap connected to a bug sewn into the lining of Layla's clutch. I watch her walk into the restaurant like she owns it. Tight red dress, hair curled, heels tall enough to snap a man's ego. Ezra greets her with a kiss on the cheek, too close, too long, and the tension in my jaw becomes unbearable. His voice comes through the headset. You look stunning, Layla. You always do when you're hiding something. They sit, order wine, small talk. Layla plays it perfectly, half flirting, half cautious. Then he leans forward. Let me save us both some time, Ezra says. I know what you're doing. I know who he is. And I know what happens next. My blood freezes. He knows, I mutter. He knows about me. Layla stays calm. Who? Ezra chuckles. Come on, sweetheart. A random IT temp who doesn't blink when I mention server logs, who always lingers outside my office, and who just happens to share a last name with Nexora's founder. Shit. I feel like the walls are closing in. I gave you a shot, he continues. I gave you a front row seat to power. But you chose a ghost. You chose the wrong team. Layla replies, so what, now you fire me too? No, I promote you, he says smoothly. VP of Internal Development, corner office, full clearance. The silence on the line is deafening. I want to trust you, Ezra adds. But I need proof of loyalty. Bring me something real. A file, a login, a moment of betrayal. And if I don't, he lowers his voice. Then I send your sister's file to ICE. Layla gasps. I nearly punched the dashboard. Her student visa expired 3 months ago, he continues. She's one red flag away from being deported. But if I push a button, she's gone. That bastard, that sadistic, calculated bastard. Layla holds her breath. I can hear it. I know she's fighting tears. But she straightens up. I'll think about it, she says. But I don't work with cowards. She leaves. I follow. Back at her apartment, she's shaking. I didn't even know he was watching my sister, she says, curling up on the couch. I don't know what to do. We fight, I say. How? He's got every angle covered, every escape sealed. Then we do something he doesn't expect. Like what I look at her eyes, her bare knees drawn up under a blanket. The pain and defiance and brilliance all mixed together. We don't bring him down, I whisper. We make him beg to fall. Layla's eyes narrow. That's going to take more than audio. I know, my mind starts racing, but I stop. One thought keeps echoing. If Ezra knew who I was, why didn't he expose me? Why did he let me stay? Could it be he wanted me close? Could it be, I'm not hunting him, is he hunting me? I barely sleep. The city outside hums with late-night traffic, neon flickers and secrets behind tinted glass. But my mind stays on Ezra. He could have outed me weeks ago, ruined me, told the board, reported me to the press. Instead, he waited, watched. Why across the room Layla stirs in her sleep, wrapped in thin sheets that barely cling to her caramel skin. Her legs shift, slightly exposed, tempting. But I force my attention elsewhere. Not now, not with everything falling apart. At 4:07 a.m., I find it. A system log buried under an old admin file on a side server we never use anymore. It shows Ezra accessed a private internal folder titled Next Ghost. My blood turns to ice. I created that folder. It was a shadow protocol containing every classified detail of our early security flaws, server backdoors, and archived credentials I swore I deleted. Only 2 people knew about it, me and Allie, my co-founder, my ex-best friend, the same man who disappeared to Europe after I became CEO solo. Did Ezra get to him? And if so, how much does Ezra know? Suddenly the game shifts in my head. Ezra's not just trying to protect his job. He's planning something. Something big. Am I the real target? Later that day, I sneak back into HQ. This time, I'm not pretending to be a janitor. No badge. No name tag. Just a hoodie, borrowed glasses, and my old route through the back stairwell. Years ago, I used to pull all-nighters here writing code until my fingers bled. Funny how fast your castle becomes a fortress you can't enter. I head straight to the basement. Server room B, there's a control access node there, isolated from the main network. Only someone with root-level admin clearance can use it. I plug in my drive, take a breath, and the screen flashes red access. Denied root ownership, transferred. Transferred to who? Looking for something, a voice asks behind me. I turn. Ezra, wearing that smug smile, flanked by 2 security guards, one hand in his pocket, the other holding a tiny USB drive. You're not the only one who knows backdoors, Cam. How did you? Allie sends his regards. The world tilts. Ezra steps closer. You thought you were clever, hiding behind a mop, sending in the brown girl with big eyes and a tight skirt to snoop for you. My fists clench. She told me everything. He lies smoothly. From the moment she bent over your desk, I knew what this was. She didn't tell you shit. I spit. Didn't have to. He smiles wider. She left her phone in my office. Unlocked. That wasn't a mistake. That was a setup. Or was it? Had Layla actually betrayed me? Ezra leans in. You had your fun. You played detective. But here's what happens now. I give the board a full breakdown of your illegal surveillance. You lose your company. Your investors run. And your little refugee girlfriend, she's gone. He tosses the USB into the air, catches it. Game over. No, I say, stepping forward. It's just started. He laughs. Still playing tough guy, huh? I built this company. I am this company. Then maybe you should have stayed in charge, Mr. Shirazi, instead of playing janitor while real men run the show. That word again, real, as if I'm some shadow version of an American. Ezra turns to walk out. The guards follow. I slump to the floor. I've lost. Back at Layla's, I don't say a word. She's making tea in the kitchen, barefoot in a long t-shirt that barely covers her thighs. Her body moves like poetry, but I can't watch her the same way. Not now. You okay? She asks. I don't answer. She sets the mug down beside me. Talk to me. Did you leave your phone in his office? She freezes. Slowly, she sits beside me. Her fingers trace my arm. Yes, she says. Why? Because I needed him to think I was breaking, to think I was scared enough to be careless. I study her face, her lips, her eyes. I want to believe her. I need to believe her. Did you really tell him everything? No, she says, firm, but I told him just enough to make him confident. I stare into her, and then I ask the one question I've been avoiding. Are you playing me too? Layla moves into my lap, straddling me slowly. Her thighs wrap around me warm and soft, but her eyes stay locked on mine. If I was, she whispers, pressing her hips down against mine, would I still want this? She kisses me hard, desperate, like she's trying to prove something, or silence doubt. Her fingers slide under my shirt, nails scrape skin. My hands trace her spine up to the base of her neck. I feel the tension in her body, the war she's fighting between survival and desire, between loyalty and strategy. And then she pulls back, barely breathing. I don't want Ezra, she says. I want you. But if you ever doubt me again, I'll destroy you before he does. For a moment I believe her, but I can't shake the question. What if Ezra isn't the final boss in this story? What if Layla is? It's 3 a.m., and I'm wide awake watching Layla sleep beside me, her bare back rising and falling in slow rhythm, her leg draped over mine, like we're still just lovers in some dream where betrayal doesn't exist. But I can't sleep. I can't stop thinking about that damn USB drive in Ezra's hand. What was on it? How much of my digital skeletons did he dig up through Ali? What else has he stolen from the vaults I once believed unbreakable? I slip out from under Layla quietly. She murmurs something in Farsi, maybe dreaming about her sister back home, or maybe something darker. I grab my clothes and step into the hallway, dialing the one person I hoped I'd never need to call again. Ali, he answers on the second ring. No hello, just a slow, tired sigh, like he knew I'd come crawling eventually. Ezra got to you, I say. He's using you to break into the vaults. You built the vaults on stolen code, Ali replies coldly. I'm just helping balance the scales. You helped me build them. You were there. Don't rewrite history now. I was there, he says, voice hard. And you iced me out the moment investors came sniffing around. You took all the credit, Cam. You walked away. I was pushed. Silence stretches. Then he adds, Ezra paid me for access, but I never gave him everything. He wanted blackmail. I gave him dust. So he's bluffing, no, Ali says flatly. He's smarter than that. He might be bluffing about what he has, but not about what he can get. Why help him? Because he offered me something you never did, Ali replies. Revenge. And the line goes dead. I'm left in the dark hallway alone with one horrifying thought. I've spent weeks trying to destroy Ezra, but I might have created him. The next morning, I storm into the East Tower's data center. Technically, I'm banned from entering the premises, but I have something Ezra didn't expect: a sympathetic old friend on the inside. Her name is Natalie Cruz, senior network engineer, 3 years my elder, and once my fiercest critic during the first IPO pitch. She never liked me, never trusted me, but respected my brain enough to answer when I called. Now she walks me into the locked access terminal. I have 15 minutes before Ezra notices the firewall spike, she warns. Don't make me regret this. I plug in my clean drive, pull up the file logs, and my heart stops. There's a hidden process running something nested deep, disguised as a driver, but I recognize the structure. It's my early Ghost prototype. Modified, it's capturing live keystrokes, conversations, screen recordings, and worse, it's been running for weeks. He's been watching everything I say aloud. Natalie frowns. Everything: emails, cameras, internal servers, password changes, boardroom mics, even elevators. Jesus, she whispers. I scan the admin logs and find something chilling. Layla's account has been accessing flagged folders. 2 days ago, last night, this morning. It could be a decoy, or it could be the truth. Natalie sees the look on my face. You think she's working with him? I think I don't know who the hell I'm sleeping with. I copy the logs, scrub the drive, and walk out without a word. Later that night, Layla greets me with a kiss. Tight red dress again, lips like honey and daggers. But I step back. I know about the folders, I say. Her face freezes. I watch her carefully, waiting for a flinch, a breath, anything. But all she says is, I told you. I needed Ezra to believe I was loyal. That's how I stayed alive. You accessed Next Ghost. I did, she admits, because he asked, and because I knew you'd track me. I needed you to see it. What are you trying to prove? That I'm in deeper than you think, she whispers. And that this isn't just a game between two men who think they're smarter than each other. I stare at her, eyes narrowing. Then what is it? It's war, she says. And in war, there are no clean hands. She walks past me, her perfume slicing the air like a silk rope. She sits on the couch, crossing her legs, slow, deliberate, like she knows every inch of her body is a weapon. You still want to win, she asks. I never stopped. Then stop doubting me. Then stop making me doubt. She smiles just faintly. Fair enough. Then she says something that freezes me. I got invited to the summit. What summit? The private quarterly. Board and elite execs only. Ezra will be there. So will the offshore reps. No phones, no surveillance. How I told them I had a package. A deal. Something explosive enough to buy my way in. What deal you, she says. I offered them you. You offered me, I said I could deliver Cameron Shirazi in the flesh with every weakness, every password, every ghost protocol. And they bit. You're going to hand me over, I'm going to walk in with a decoy drive, she says. And you're going to be waiting in the basement with the real one. What's on the real one? She leans forward, cleavage peeking beneath the thin line of her dress. Everything she says. Every file Ezra's ever hidden. Every bribe. Every voice memo. The video of him in Zurich. The payment to that senator. Even the backup footage of what he did to Arjun's daughter in Shanghai. I stare at her. You got all that? She smiles wider. I told you. I'm not your secretary, Cam. I'm the bomb under the table. For a moment, I can't tell if I'm terrified of her or completely hopelessly in love. But I do know one thing. If she's lying, I'm already dead. The night of the summit arrives like a storm that doesn't make a sound. No public announcements, no press, just limousines with tinted windows and men in suits whose smiles never touch their eyes. The venue is one of those discreet Silicon Valley compounds, golf course out front, biometric gates in the back, and a tech wellness retreat cover story slapped across the security forms. I know it well. I helped fund its construction before I knew what it would really be used for. Layla slips out of the car like a goddess stepping down from Olympus. Black satin dress, high slit, no jewelry, nothing that would beep under a scanner, except the drive, hidden behind her thigh, taped just under the lace strap of her garter, and I'm already inside, in the boiler basement, watching her through thermal cams routed into my private tablet. She walks through the lobby, checks in under a name that isn't hers, smiles at the coordinator like she was born to rule men who underestimate her. But I know what she's walking into. Inside that summit are billion-dollar men with billion-dollar enemies. And Ezra. He's not just a king there. He's the executioner. The plan is simple. At 9:15 p.m., she'll excuse herself to the private lounge. A guard will follow her. She'll take him out non-lethal but messy. I'll slip in through the rear service hallway disguised as kitchen crew. We'll swap drives. She'll return to the boardroom with the decoy. I'll upload the real one from the compound's root server terminal and leak everything. That's the plan. But it never survives contact with reality. At 8:56, I hear the first crackle in my earpiece. Layla's voice. Cam. Problem. My chest tightens. What, there's no lounge anymore. They moved it. Someone changed the schedule. Ezra. He knows we're coming. My fingers hover over the tablet screen. Can you abort? No. I'm already being watched. Fallback plan. She hesitates. We don't have one. Shit. I glance at the hallway door. Then something catches my eye. A second security feed, running parallel to mine. Not public, not official, but active. Watching me. Cam, Layla whispers. Say something. We're compromised, I say. Get out. I can't. She's whispering now. Ezra just pulled me aside. He wants to talk. In private. My heartbeat slams in my ears. Where's second floor? Executive deck. Are you wired? No. He scanned me. Which means I'm blind. I'll stall him, she says. You get to the terminal. Layla, Cam, go. Then the line goes dead. I make it to the central server vault just after 9:10 p.m. Swipe a guard badge I picked up from a sleeping body earlier, non-lethal. Barely a bruise, and descend into the freezing data floor. The terminal hums with power, but it's locked. I reach into my coat pocket and pull out a chip. Custom built, dual layer encryption, time delayed detonator if tampered with. I slide it into the slot. 30 seconds to unlock. 15 to trigger auto wipe if wrong. One shot. The system clicks flashes. Access granted. I exhale. Then the screen changes. Lev connection initiated. Someone's watching. My blood runs cold. On the screen a video feed pops up. Ezra, sitting in the lounge, with Layla beside him. Her hands are tied behind her back. A faint bruise is already forming under her jaw. Evening, Cam. Ezra says smoothly. Nice of you to join us. I don't move. He taps the side of his champagne glass. I had a feeling you'd try something dramatic tonight. You always did have a taste for theater. I stay quiet. You know, he continues, I was going to let you burn slowly. But you've made it personal. You put your name back on the board last week, didn't you? Quietly reinstated. Thought no one would notice. I feel my stomach drop. How does he know everything? And Layla, he says, stroking a loose strand of hair from her face. She played her part well. But sadly, everyone has a price. My hands curl into fists. Is this a confession, I ask, because I'm recording? Ezra grins. Of course you are. But what are you going to do? Leak it? You'll go down with me. The board will bury you in legal hell. You're already accused of corporate espionage. I'll take the fall, I say, as long as you lose everything. He chuckles. Still noble, still stupid. Then he leans toward the camera. But here's the twist, Cam. He tosses something onto the table. A second drive. The real one. I swapped Layla's drive 2 hours ago. She never had the real payload. That's what happens when you sleep with your own asset. You stop thinking clearly. Layla turns to me. Her mouth opens, but Ezra slaps her across the face. I roar, slamming my fist against the screen. You touch her again, and I swear you'll what? Ezra sneers. Call HR. I stare at the screen. I'm frozen. For the first time, I don't have a move. I've been outplayed. Everything we planned, twisted, rerouted, countered. He beat me. And then right as I prepare to wipe the server, Layla moves. Fast. Too fast for Ezra to stop. She jerks her head sideways, slamming it against the table, shattering a champagne flute in the process. A shard drops, and before he can react, she grabs it, drives it into his neck. Ezra screams, blood spraying. The screen goes black. My hands tremble. I don't know if she's alive. I don't know if she survived, but the server is still live. And now I have the real drive. She bought me 10 seconds. Maybe that's all I'll get. I upload everything. Ezra's voice logs. The sexual blackmail archive. The shell companies laundering tech contracts. The offshore payments. The Shanghai footage. And last, the file labeled Ghost Shirazi. My own sins. My own flaws. All of it. I leak it all. No filters, no edits. Let the world judge. Then I run. The next 48 hours unfold like a demolition in slow motion. I hide in a cheap motel in Oakland, half my beard shaved, wearing sunglasses indoors, eating gas station peanuts for dinner. My face is all over the news. Leaked corruption files rock Nexora Systems. CEO accused of corporate espionage, whistleblowing, and internal sabotage. Sexual coercion ring tied to Silicon Valley elite. The footage went viral within hours. Ezra's bloodied face slumped over crystalline velvet. Layla's glass-stained hand trembling as she called emergency services. The audio, the payments, the racism, the naked power games. But the most shocking piece, I didn't censor my own folder. Every mistake I ever made, every oversight, every gray area contract, every borderline bribe I greenlit to save the company in its infancy was out there too. Because if I was going to burn Ezra, I had to burn myself first. Only then would they believe it wasn't a stunt. Only then would they understand the system needed to fall. But what I didn't expect was who fell first. Ezra didn't die. Not that night. But he never recovered either. Layla's strike hit his carotid artery. He lost consciousness in 2 minutes, nearly bled out. Emergency surgery saved his life, but his vocal cords were severed. The man who ruled rooms with venomous monologues couldn't speak anymore. He now communicates by writing, slowly, painfully, alone. I saw a photo of him in a private report leaked to journalists, wrapped in a neck brace, sitting in a hospital wheelchair, a nurse holding a cup to his lips, a shadow of the tyrant he once was. But what about Layla? I didn't hear from her for a week. Not a word, not a message, not even a sign she was alive. The night the leak went public, she disappeared from the hospital after getting stitches. Vanished. Some said she fled to Europe. Others said she was in witness protection. One rumor claimed she had a price on her head from someone Ezra once protected. I told myself she'd made her choice, that she did what she had to, and that maybe, just maybe, her silence was survival. But then one morning an envelope slid under my motel door. No name, no stamp, inside a plane ticket, one way, Montreal, and a single note written in her sharp slanted script, time to rebuild. I took the flight. 2 days later I walked into a co-working space in Old Port and found her sitting by the window, legs crossed. Laptop open, sipping an espresso, like she hadn't just dismantled the highest tower of tech corruption in the last decade. She looked up, smiled softly. "You came?" "I always would," I said. She stood. No drama, no seduction. Just a long, quiet hug, one that said more than anything our mouths could. We got a tiny office together. Started over. Not Nexora, not tech, not surveillance. We built something new, clean, small, an encrypted cloud service for whistleblowers. She called it Gossamer, because truth doesn't need to be heavy to break things, she said. Just precise. Back in the US, investigations exploded. Senators called for reform. Class action lawsuits swarmed. Ezra's cabal collapsed. Ali disappeared again. The board resigned en masse. And me, I testified. I apologized publicly. I donated every remaining share of Nexora to a fund for women in tech and underrepresented founders. I walked away. Some hated me. Some called me a martyr. But I didn't care either way. Because at night when Layla climbs into bed beside me, warm skin, colder feet, sleepy kisses, I finally feel something I never had as CEO, peace. And sometimes when she's drifting off, she murmurs things in that half-lucid space between dream and waking. You should have seen his face when I stabbed him. I chuckle, kiss her shoulder, whisper back, "You're terrifying, you know that." She grins, eyes still closed. "You like it?" I do, but there's always a question lingering in the back of my mind, one I've never asked. If Ezra hadn't hurt her sister, if the summit plan had gone smoother, if we never got caught, would she have handed me over? I don't ask, because I'm not sure I want to know. Some truths are best left buried, just like some ghosts. 6 months later, I'm standing in front of a crowd at the University of Toronto's Innovation Hub. My voice echoes softly off the glass walls. I'm not here as a CEO, not as a fallen icon. I'm here as a cautionary tale. Behind me, the screen reads, "Power, Identity, and the Cost of Silence." And I begin with a truth that still stings. I lost everything. Then I gave up what was left. And somehow that was the first real win of my life. The room is packed with young founders, dreamers, idealists. They're not here for stock tips. They're here because I set fire to a palace I once ruled and walked away alive. But my mind isn't really here. Not fully. Because earlier this morning, a message pinged my encrypted server. A tip, anonymous. They're rebuilding. New name, new shell companies, different faces. But it's the same machine, same hunger. Attached a list of 5 men, 3 I recognize from Ezra's circle, 2 I've never heard of, and 1 location, Miami. At the bottom, a symbol, not a signature, but a spider. Layla's mark. That night I find her on the rooftop, sipping whiskey under string lights. She's barefoot, hair up, wearing one of my button-downs and nothing else. The wind kisses her thighs. She doesn't flinch. She doesn't need warmth. She's fire. "You saw the message?" she asked without turning. "Yes." "Then you know what's coming." I step beside her. "Do you want to run again?" She chuckles. "Cam, I don't run. I evolve." There's something in her eyes, not fear, not revenge, precision. I sit next to her. "You want to burn them all?" "No," she says, setting down the glass. "I want to replace them, permanently." I stare. "You want to take their place?" She meets my eyes. "No. I want to end the structure that allows them to exist. For good." By becoming it first, she smiles. Isn't that what you did once I swallow? Because she's right. Because to dismantle a system, sometimes you have to infect it from the inside. But this time it won't be a one-man crusade. This time we're not fighting with surveillance or servers. This time we're building something deeper, invisible, viral, a trap that thinks it's power, a throne that destroys whoever sits on it, and once it's ready, we'll open the door, invite them in, and watch them hang themselves. The next morning she turns to me in bed, the light soft across her shoulder blades. You're still with me, she asks. Always, I say. She presses a kiss to my collarbone, then says as casually as you'd mention breakfast. You know Ezra didn't die, right? I nod. She smiles. He'll want revenge. I hope so. And we lie there, bare skin tangled beneath linen ready, because this time we're not hunting shadows. We are the storm. Moral of the story: never underestimate the quiet ones. The janitor, the secretary, the woman you thought would break. Because sometimes the best revenge is surviving them all and building something they'll never understand. Something that doesn't want power, it wants change, and it's already here.